What's going on, people? My name is Antoine, this is ATM Tech, and welcome to the channel. So the Z Fold 2 definitely packs a punch with its flagship specification and hardware. With the Snapdragon 865 Plus and 12GB of RAM, it's definitely no slouch. So with its high-powered specs and nice big screen, it should theoretically make for a perfect emulation device. But does it live up to those expectations? And should you consider the Z Fold 2 as your next emulation device? Well, stick around to find out. Right, we're going to start off with some SNES emulation. Now, the SNES is pretty straightforward and easy to emulate. It's a quite old console and devices have been able to emulate this for quite a while, but it's just a nice little starting benchmark just to see how we get on. Right, we're going to jump into some Killer Instincts now. So this one's a bit more graphically intensive. There's a lot more going on the screen, more textures, that sort of thing. It's actually surprising the amount of people that actually never play Killer Instincts. It's a massively underrated fighting game franchise. So for the most part, everything looks like it's running smoothly. There's no drop frames, the sound is normal. This is running at the game's native resolution, which I guess is 480p. I don't really know what TVs were back then. Right, so next we're gonna move up to some N64 emulation. Now, historically, the N64s have been quite difficult to emulate, but developers have been working overtime to get the emulation to a point where it's nice and smooth. I'm running around a bit clueless and a bit like a clown because I've never actually played Mario 64 growing up. I wasn't fortunate enough to get an N64, so my only experience of Nintendo is with emulators as an adult. Something about Mario in 3D space just doesn't sit right with me. Okay, so now we're jumping into some Game Boy Advance with a bit of Sonic 3. So the Game Boy Advance is another one that's pretty straightforward when it comes to emulating. This has been running well on Android for years, so I'm not expecting any issues. Next, we're going to jump into some Zelda, and this is Link to the Past, which I believe is a port from the Super Nintendo version of the same game. But as expected, this game runs as well as you'd expect on the actual console itself. So next we're going to jump into some GameCube. As you can kind of tell, we're going through the Nintendo series first. So a bit of Mario Kart Double Dash. Now the GameCube was around the point in time where games consoles were becoming a bit more powerful, a bit more graphic intensive, and just needed a bit more work. So Android hasn't always been able to run GameCube games smoothly, but just initial impression, this is running pretty sweet. Up next we've got the Wii. Now admittedly I'm relatively new to Wii emulation. Wii emulation kind of jumped on the scene when I jumped out of the emulation scene, but it's nice to see what is a relatively modern console being able to be emulated on an Android device. So straight out of the box, this Mario Kart didn't run smoothly. I did have to play with some of the settings, adjust the resolution, that sort of thing. But once I did that, it ran smooth. You can see the frames counter on the top right, and it's holding steady at 59 to 60 frames. The tricky thing about emulating on the Wii is obviously the Wii motor is a bit different from your typical controller. So I'm using a PS4 controller connected via Bluetooth. Obviously some aspects of the controller don't pair up with the Wii mote. Okay, and now we are jumping into some PS1 with a bit of Street Fighter Alpha. This is the game I played a lot growing up, like a lot. Again, this was another one where I did have to tweak some of the settings to get it run smoothly. But for the most part, it runs a-okay. Jumping into another classic, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I'm sure for a lot of people, and it was for me, this was the game that got me interested in skating. Many hours spent on this game. And again, this is running perfectly just as well as it used to run on the PlayStation, if not a little bit better. Now we're moving on to the Dreamcast, a bit of Street Fighter again with Third Strike. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself, but again, another game that is running perfectly smooth. No drop frames, nothing like that. Seems as though the 865 Plus processor on the Fold can handle pretty much anything emulation can throw at it. And then finally, an old classic, Ready to Rumble 2, again on the Dreamcast. This game was stupid and fun and ridiculous all at the same time. One of the few games out there that rewarded button bashing over actual skill. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed that. Did the Z Fold 2 live up to your expectations? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, clicking the like button is massively appreciated. It helps me out a lot. And if you're not already subscribed, well, go ahead and click that subscribe button. But again, my name is Antoine. This is ATM Tech, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.